Welcome to my patio garden. Today is June 9th, 2026. It's a beautiful day and I just wanted to come out and give you a quick tour of what I have planted in the garden so far. I'll give you an overlook of how everything's doing right now so we can compare in a month or two. I'll make another video and we'll compare on how the garden's doing then. First, I'll just start by saying I love my garden. It's been an amazing place to just soak in the sunshine and actually get myself outside. It's just really good for the soul. So this has been really good for me. We'll go through, I have this tiered planter right here. My husband built it last year. So if you want to see a little bit more about that, you can check out my video about my first year garden. So yes, this is my second year having this garden, but it is not my first year of gardening. So I have gardened basically my whole life. Ever since I was a little kid, my parents would garden with me, and so I just grew up having fresh produce from the garden every summer, and that is something I just really wanted to have in my own home. So now that I have this home, and yes, it's a town home, this is my patio. I don't have a big yard, but I have made it possible for me to grow so many amazing things. A lot of people are surprised when they see my patio and they're like, whoa, like there are so many plants back here. There's so much more you can do in a small space than people realize. And so that's the main reason I've been sharing this with you guys, is I want to inspire others that no matter if you have a small apartment with a balcony or a patio or maybe a really small yard, you can still garden. So that being said, this is my tiered planter. There are 4 tiers to it. So on the top, we have some strawberries. So a little bit funny thing, last fall, I took a lot of the herbs and strawberries out of this planter, put them in pots, took them inside, and took them downstairs to my plant dungeon, which honestly, it's a crawl space where I keep some plants. This is my plant dungeon. So this garden over the winter has been a little bit neglected, kind of didn't keep up with watering, so they're looking dry, and the strawberries are looking like fall because they're like, it's a little chilly and I can't grow very well. Yeah, over here we've got my seedlings, really looking amazing. So yeah, it works well. Here we have the jumbo strawberries, what these ones are called, All-Star. So some of these strawberries didn't do so well because I neglected them in my plant dungeon. I intended to keep them under grow lights and I just did not keep up with watering. I could have done it, but ever since December happened, I ended up having some medical things that I had to take care of, and I just didn't take the time to water my dungeon garden as much as I should have. And so that's the situation. So some of these are a little bit crispy. We'll see if they come back. If not, I'll replant right here. I think we'll add some other strawberry starts I'll grab at a nursery. On the second tier, we have radishes and carrots. So I have a few different varieties of carrots, one variety of radishes, and the radishes have definitely started bolting. So the ones that are bolted are not going to taste very good. They are bitter. So I honestly need to pull those up. I'll do that today after I give you the tour. We're going to pull up some radishes. And the idea is once you take out the radishes, the soil will be a little bit aerated for the carrots to have more room to grow. I'm testing it out, we'll see. My carrots didn't do super well last year, so we'll see what we can do. Here I have some lettuce, which my lettuce I did plant from seed earlier, very early in the spring. It got mowed to the ground by caterpillars. That's just the situation that happens with gardening. There's no way to prevent it, and honestly, I'm okay with it. I'll welcome the bugs. I've gotten very much more used to that. When I see the not beneficial insects, it does not make me happy, but I've definitely been changing some things to add some more flowering plants and places for those critters to be attracted to so they stay away from my lettuce and things that I want to eat. So I have my arugula here. I definitely have let it get a little bit crazy. It is starting to bolt, but I'm letting the flowers happen, and like at this point, we might as well see if any pollinators show up to the garden. I think I will see if there is any salvageable that would still taste okay. It's honestly hilarious to me that the caterpillars ate all of the lettuce, took a couple bites of the arugula, and were like, no thank you. They did take some bites of my radishes, but that's when I caught them. So I have some chives. That's something new I'm trying to grow this year. It's looking really great. I picked it up from a nursery. I have never really used chives, but I've seen a lot of ideas of what to do with them. So I'm excited to try new things of cooking with chives. That'll be fun. These are some of my herbs that were prisoners in my plant dungeon. They got a little bit sad and crispy, but rosemary is very hardy. I am confident that the rosemary is going to be okay. Not so sure about the thyme. I also have oregano and I don't think that's going to make it, but you live and you learn. It was a great idea. I had amazing intentions. I just didn't quite follow through. I'm not sure. We'll see this year if I do the same thing. I might do it with some things, but I don't know. We'll see when the time comes what my life's looking like and if that's the project I want to take on. So let's move on to the trough bed here. This bed has my tomatoes, peppers, and I have onions as well. The tomatoes I picked up from a local nursery, and I've been very, very impressed by this nursery. I'm not sponsored whatsoever to say this, but I am going to give a shout out to Lambert Growers. They're a family-owned business, and I see they were voted best in Utah, and they definitely earned it because I was so impressed by the quality of their plants and how many variety options they have, and they grow from seed. I was just like, I'm going to buy plants from them all the time now. I'm very impressed. So this one I have here, this is, I believe it's a type of beefsteak tomato. It's definitely like a bigger sized tomato. This one is named Mr. Stripey. I will not lie, I definitely bought it because I fell in love with the name. I'm like, who doesn't want a Mr. Stripey in their garden? So I definitely, just yesterday, I saw some oh no, there's still some on here that I missed. Or they just all gathered on this leaf. We'll have to check the other leaves. No, they're definitely still there. So I found aphids. I'm gonna have to blast them with water and treat them with neem oil again, because that is not okay. I want this baby to thrive. I also saw aphids on this one. We'll check and see. There's a few, yep. Sadness. We'll have to take care of those. I also had seen this pepper wasn't looking the happiest because it had aphids, but oh, there's more. Dang, why does this always happen to me? It just happens. But it's not the end of the world. We can easily take care of them. It is what it is. So we got the aphids. They are loving it here too, apparently. This one, I got a cherry tomato. This plant is super sweet 100. This plant should make a bunch of cherry tomatoes, which that was my goal. I'm just in love with cherry tomatoes. They are my favorite. And if I only have one plant, I want as many as I can have. And I definitely got a lot from my plant this year. So I'm curious like how this will compare if it has even more, because it's a specific variety that makes a lot of cherry tomatoes. These peppers I planted from seed this year. So if you're curious about how I did that, I have some short form videos that I made about planting seeds this year. So if you want to see the progress of how some of these started from seed and have grown, definitely check those out. There's a little wasp checking us out. Hello. That's funny. We have California Wonder, or these two peppers, and these are Tangerine Dream is this one. So I believe they're orange and yellow peppers. We'll see if we can get good fruit, but they definitely look really good despite the aphids. Now, these are just some onions. I have another pot of onions over here. I planted Walla Walla onions last year, but I did not get very big onions. They were very tiny, and so I'm trying again, and they already look so much better. Like, I can tell I'm gonna get some good bulb onions. I have a pot of those, and I didn't want to crowd them out too much because I think I definitely did that last year, so I put 4 right here in some extra space. I still have some extra space here that I'm going to sprinkle some marigolds. I have some marigold seeds that I collected from my flowers last year. I'm just gonna sprinkle them around, just let whatever pops up grow. So that's what we're doing. I also have more space in the tiered garden. I'm not quite sure what I want to plant yet, so if you have suggestions, let me know what I should put in the tiered planter. Let's head on over to this large planter with the trellis. It is looking beautiful. I am so proud of it too. I'm really, really proud of it. So my husband also built this planter. I've got peas growing in the back. They are growing way taller than they ever did last year, so that is a win. I see one flower, so they really haven't been producing. They're not looking the most amazing, but they're not dying yet. So we'll see if we get some good peas, but I'm just glad that it's starting to trellis because that was my vision. We'll see how much longer it can go because peas do not like the heat, so they will get crispy when it gets hotter, probably in July. So I don't have a lot more time with them, but we'll see what we can get. Once they die off, I'm going to plant some beans. So I'll show you the garden then once we have beans climbing up the trellis. In front here, we have cilantro, and this cilantro is also bolting, but I have actually been harvesting lots of cilantro, which is way more than the tiny little couple-inch plants that I got last year, and they bolted very early. So I am glad that these became very large plants, and they don't have a super long growing season, so I didn't expect them to last forever. I am planning on doing successive sowings, so I will plant more cilantro seeds soon after I harvest all of this. I think I'm going to let the flowers go to coriander because that's what cilantro is, the same as a coriander plant, which is pretty cool. In the back here, I have my cucumber plants. I have 3 plants this year. A week or so ago, I thinned them finally, and the leaves are definitely spreading out and getting bigger now that they have more space. Imagine that. I'm really hoping that they can keep growing, climbing up the trellis, and give me cucumbers this year. That is just, out of anything that could fail, that would be probably the saddest because it happened last year and I'm like, whatever, I'll just keep growing and figuring it out if it happens. We'll see. I have some dill, which is looking amazing, very large and in charge and beautiful and delicious. I need to harvest some more. I'm going to make homemade ranch, and if I get cucumbers, we'll make homemade pickles and just so many things you can do with dill in the kitchen. We've also made some really good Mediterranean chicken wraps. So good with the fresh dill. Amazing. That has made me happy for sure. And this space, I've decided to plant some carnations. I'm excited to see those. I'm really hoping they can keep growing and bloom for me this summer. In the corner here, we have my zucchini. My poor little itty bitty dying zucchini. I don't know what is happening because the same thing happened last year, but it definitely doesn't look as bad as it did last year. It's just very yellow. And I'm wondering if it just hasn't gotten enough water or if there's a disease in the soil or something going on. But last year I definitely had like mites or something. I don't think it was powdery mildew, even though I thought it was at first. I had something just really taking over my cucumbers and zucchini. So I hope it's not the same thing because I really do want to get that zucchini. If it doesn't make it, I'm just gonna go buy some garden starts and retry. Now, real quick, I do want to address my irrigation system. You probably have noticed these brown tubes going crazy. That's because we definitely cut them longer than we think we would need them because we weren't sure the layout that I would want. But I think I have a better idea and I definitely want to cut them and just tidy it up a little bit better. But speaking of, actually, we are going to be adding some more irrigation tubing and the umbrella sprinklers specifically. We have really liked those, so I'll be adding those. I actually have more plants in the garden this year, and so I need more irrigation. But I definitely have been coming out and watering with the hose, which has kept everything happy, but it's definitely been, I think the biggest improvement for my garden has been that it's having drip irrigation, consistent watering every day, and that is keeping the plants happy. So I want to show you these pots that I have over here. I have a lemongrass. This is the same lemongrass I had last year, and it's just starting to come back. I probably should have pruned it and took care of it better over the winter, but it is what it is. So these are my green onions. They are evergreen bunching onions is what these are. I'm actually very impressed by how large they have gotten, and it's very satisfying because I started them from seed back in like January or February, and I'm just so proud of myself. So I do have a short of that too. I definitely could start harvesting and cooking with some of this. It looks amazing. So that's very exciting. I did tell you about my Walla Walla onions already, and over here I have planted some butterfly weed. So this does tend to get into a large bush, but it did say it was container friendly on the seed packet, so we're gonna try. I do have a few in here because I did demonstrate how to do cold stratification, which is a process that you need to do with some flower seeds. Definitely don't worry about it now that it's June. You can just plant them in the ground, see what happens. But I did leave these in my fridge is how I did the cold stratification process. I left the seeds in my fridge for almost 3 months. I definitely left them in there longer than I meant to, but it's okay. So they're starting to sprout, which is very, very good to hear. I'm not sure if we'll get blooms because it takes a very long time. I think it said like 360 days or something. So it takes like a whole year for them to bloom, but we'll see. There definitely will be probably too many sprouts in there, but I'll just give them away to friends and we'll just get one good healthy bush in this pot. So that is very exciting because it will welcome the pollinators and it is a native plant, which is very exciting. On the patio, so I mean this is my patio, but I guess we'll call that the porch where my chairs are, like my furniture. I have my flower pots, which I do need to add more seeds. Last year I planted forget-me-not seeds in there, which have been very special to me, and I do need to add more to get those growing again. So yeah, that is basically it. That is the tour of what's growing in my garden right now in the middle of June. I'll give you a peek of some roses that I haven't grown, but they are growing nearby, which are very, very pretty. I just love this time of year when everything starts blooming, everything's alive and growing, and I'm just excited for it to keep going. I hope this inspires you. If you have a patio garden, please get started. Don't let anything hold you back. And maybe you don't have a patio garden, but if you're looking into gardening and you're worried that it's too late, it is not too late. People will say that June is too late, but it's not. Don't get intimidated that I started seeds like months ago. That's just what I decided I wanted to do this year, but you can definitely just go to a nursery and buy a whole bunch of plants that are ready to go. Please hop in the comments and tell me how your garden is doing, if you are starting gardening, or if you have any questions. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. My name is Julia, and this is my channel Groove and Bloom, where I share tips for houseplant care and gardening. I wish you happy gardening and keep blooming and stay groovy. Pretty good.